Welcome to The Explainer. So today we're going to dig into something really fascinating, a powerful story that helps us understand the hidden meaning behind hoarding. And trust me, it goes way, way beyond just being messy.
You've seen a picture like this before, right? A cluttered, old space, maybe in a historic part of town. And let's be honest, for a lot of us, the first reaction is probably judgment. We see it as messy, maybe even a little bit backward.
But hang on a second. What if we're totally missing the point? What if all this chaos isn't just chaos? What if it's actually a complex language, telling a story that most of us just don't know how to read?
And that's really the heart of what we're talking about today. Is this incredible mess a sign of profound resilience, a time-tested strategy for survival, or is it a symptom of something much deeper, a kind of internal cry for help? Let's find out.
Okay, so to really get this, let's zoom in on a really specific and powerful image. This messy old woman who's living inside a grand, sacred ancestral hall. It's a scene that's just full of these amazing contradictions.
And this is where it gets really interesting, right? You've got this clash of energies. The ancestral hall, well, it's sacred, it's ordered, it's a space for the dead, full of what you'd call yang energy. But then the granny comes in, and she brings the worldly, the chaotic, the messy energy of life, a yin presence. Her clutter, her vitality, it creates this strange and beautiful balance in a place that would otherwise feel, kind of cold and empty.
All right, let's start with the first way to look at this. Let's explore how this behavior can actually be seen as a form of really profound survival wisdom.
So, this isn't just random clutter, not at all. It's a full-on strategy. First, you've got the idea of tongue, which is all about concealment. The mess basically acts like camouflage, making her seem poor and worthless to anyone who might want to rob her. It's a genius way to protect yourself by looking insignificant. And then there's B, which means preparation. Every single item, no matter how small, is a potential resource for a future you can't predict. This whole mindset, it's born from a collective history of really tough times. Famine, war, you name it.
And this really puts things in perspective, doesn't it? I mean, today's Western culture is all about decluttering and minimalism. But a more traditional Chinese perspective, summed up by the phrase wu jin qi yong, is about using things to their absolute fullest potential. So those items that we might call clutter, to her, they're a backup plan. They're a way out.
So, the big takeaway from this first perspective is, this is not laziness. Far from it. This is a testament to incredible resilience, a deeply pragmatic, battle-tested strategy for surviving in a world that's always been unpredictable.
Okay, that's one way to see it, a story of strength. But what if that's not the whole story? What if that survival instinct is actually hiding something deeper, something a lot more painful? Let's look at another interpretation, one that's a bit more challenging.
Yeah, it's easy to look at that and admire the resilience, for sure. But we got to ask ourselves the hard question. Is this behavior really coming from a place of strength and stability?
And boom, this quote just flips the whole thing on its head. It reframes the entire story, suggesting that the hoarding isn't an act of strength at all. It's a symptom of a profound internal weakness, a void.
The key word here is shu. Now, we're not talking about an empty room. This is way deeper. We're talking about an emptiness inside a person, a serious lack of vital life energy, or what you might know as qi.
So how does this play out? Well, imagine you have this black hole of insecurity inside you. What do? You try to fill it with stuff, with physical objects. But of course, you can't. So all it does is create this massive blockage, a stagnant energy that just sits there. The hoard becomes this desperate attempt to build a physical wall of existence around a self that feels like it's fading away.
Wow. I mean, that metaphor just hits you, doesn't it? The soul's chronic dehydration. It's like trying to drink salt water when you're dying of thirst. The more stuff you pile up, the more spiritually dehydrated you actually become.
And here's the really tragic part. The power dynamic gets completely reversed. Instead of her things serving her, she ends up serving them. Her entire life force gets consumed by guarding the junk, and she becomes a prisoner inside a fortress that she built herself.
Okay, so let's bring this home, because this isn't just a story about some granny in a hall. This is about us, right here, right now. This truth is absolutely universal.
I mean, forget physical junk for a second. Just pull out your phone. Look at that screen. All those apps we never use, but we're just afraid to delete. Sound familiar?
Or think about your email inbox. How many thousands of messages are sitting in there just in case? We're hoarding digital information because we have this fear of missing out, a fear of letting go of some opportunity that probably was never there in the first place.
And then there's the really heavy stuff, the invisible junk, old arguments you can't let go of, grudges, toxic relationships, past failures. This is the emotional junk that starts to fill up our inner space, just like the granny's possessions.
You see? It's all the same thing. The core mechanism is identical. The granny's broken pottery and our unread emails, they're both serving the exact same purpose, trying to use external stuff to plug an internal hole. And get this, it can even show up in our bodies. In Chinese medicine, the throat is like a major highway for energy. But when you hold on to all this emotional junk, what happens? You get a massive traffic jam. And that stuckness can literally manifest as physical problems, like issues with your thyroid. It's your body basically screaming, I can't process this anymore.
So, what's the solution? What's the big takeaway here? It's that real strength, real inner fullness, it doesn't come from acquiring more. It doesn't come from holding on tighter. It comes from releasing, from learning how to let go of what no longer serves you.
And that leaves us with one last question. A question for you, really. Take a look around your own life, your physical world, your digital world, your emotional world. Are you just living in a modern kind of ancestral hall, trying to fill your own emptiness with your own invisible junk?